The Symposium of the Wind, a debate on turbines and leadership. In a serene meadow, framed by towering turbines whose blades rhythmically slice the sky, a gathering of philosophers from across time assembles. Socrates and Plato, the initial conveners of this rare symposium, have called upon other great minds to debate the virtues and vices of the modern world's reliance on wind turbines. The purpose is clear: to uncover whether such advancements represent true progress or the folly of a humanity untethered from wisdom and harmony. As the wind whispers through the tall grass, the philosophers take their places on stones and wooden benches. Socrates, ever the questioner, rises to introduce the topic. Socrates: "Are we truly wise? My friends," he begins, gesturing toward the turbines in the distance, "look upon these towering contraptions. They promise energy for the many, relief from the smoke of coal and oil. But at what cost? I invite you all to ask, do these machines reflect wisdom or merely cleverness? Are they born of true virtue or of an unexamined desire to dominate nature?" He pauses, his piercing eyes scanning the group. For myself, I would argue that without wisdom, without understanding the deeper purpose of our actions, such innovations may lead us astray. I do not condemn the turbines outright, but I question whether their creation aligns with the good life. Do they bring harmony, or do they sow discord between humanity and the world we inhabit? Plato, the form of the good and the failure of governance. Plato stands, his presence commanding. Socrates raises a vital point, he says. Let us consider whether these turbines align with the form of the good. True progress must reflect justice, beauty, and harmony, not merely utility. These machines may generate power, but do they reflect the higher principles that guide a just society? He gestures toward the horizon, where a flock of birds circles uneasily around the turbines. Observe how the natural order is disrupted. The birds are displaced, the landscape is scarred. Such disregard for harmony suggests a failure of governance. In the Republic, I wrote that rulers must be philosopher kings, guided by wisdom and a vision of the greater good. Yet here, we see evidence of short-sighted leadership. Those who govern pursue material advancement without considering the spiritual and ecological balance of the cosmos. Plato takes his seat, his words lingering like a solemn chord. Aristotle, a question of ends and means. Aristotle, the great systematizer, rises next. Plato, my teacher, speaks of the form of the good, and Socrates questions our wisdom. Allow me to take a more practical view, he says, his tone measured. Every action has an end, a purpose. The question before us is this: do these turbines serve their proper end? If they provide energy that enables human flourishing, education, health, leisure for contemplation, then they may be justified. But if they create new forms of imbalance, inequality, or alienation, then we must reconsider. He strokes his beard thoughtfully. Furthermore, we must examine the virtues or vices cultivated by this technology. Does it foster temperance, responsibility, and respect for nature? Or does it encourage greed, hubris, and a detachment from the natural world? These are the questions we must ask. Diogenes, the vanity of progress. A laugh echoes from the edge of the circle. Diogenes the cynic, reclining against a barrel he has dragged into the meadow, waves dismissively at the turbines. "I'll progress," he sneers. "You all speak as if humanity's clever machines will bring salvation. But tell me this, are these spinning monstrosities any better than the comforts and vanities you have long condemned. He sits up, his sharp eyes glinting. Humans build turbines to harness the wind, yet they are still slaves to their own desires. They exploit the earth, they exploit each other, and now they exploit the air itself. Is this what you call progress? True wisdom lies in simplicity, in living in accordance with nature, not in building towering idols to your own arrogance. The group murmurs, some nodding in agreement, others bristling at Diogenes' provocation. Epicurus, the pursuit of pleasure and harmony. Epicurus, the philosopher of simple pleasures, speaks next, his tone calm and reflective. Diogenes is right to criticize human arrogance, but I would offer a gentler perspective, he says. The purpose of life is to achieve ataraxia, peace of mind and freedom from fear. If these turbines can provide energy that alleviates human suffering, if they reduce the environmental destruction caused by fossil fuels, then they may contribute to a better life. He pauses, his brow furrowed. But I would caution against excess. If these machines disrupt the tranquility of nature or cause new forms of suffering, they fail their purpose. Harmony must be our guiding principle. Harmony with ourselves, with others, and with the natural world. Confucius, harmony and responsibility. From across the circle, Confucius joins the discussion. Epicurus speaks wisely of harmony. He says, his voice measured and thoughtful. In my teachings, I emphasize the importance of balance and the mutual responsibilities of all beings. Humanity has a duty to care for the natural world, for we are not separate from it, we are part of it. He gestures toward the turbines. If these machines bring imbalance, if they harm the land, the animals, or the communities who live nearby, they violate the principles of proper conduct. Technology must serve the greater good, not merely the ambitions of the powerful. Nietzsche, the will to power and the mediocrity of progress. A voice, sharp and commanding, cuts through the air. Friedrich Nietzsche, his mustache twitching with disdain, rises to speak. You all speak of harmony and virtue, but you fail to see the deeper truth, he declares. These turbines are not symbols of progress. They are monuments to mediocrity. They represent humanity's will to power. Yes, but a power that is shallow and uninspired. He gestures dramatically toward the turbines. True greatness lies in transcending nature, in creating something sublime and extraordinary. These machines are mere tools, born of a society that values utility over creativity, comfort over greatness. Where is the Übermensch in all of this? Where is the individual who dares to rise above the herd and create something truly magnificent? The group falls silent, pondering Nietzsche's words. Heidegger, the danger of enframing. Martin Heidegger, his expression grave, rises next. Nietzsche speaks of the will to power, but I see something more insidious at work, he says. These turbines are not merely machines. They are manifestations of a mindset that reduces the natural world to a mere resource for exploitation. I call this mindset enframing. He pauses, his voice low and urgent. Enframing is a way of thinking that sees everything, trees, rivers, even the wind, as standing reserve, waiting to be harnessed and used. This mindset blinds us to the true essence of nature, to its mystery and beauty. It is a danger not only to the earth, but to our very humanity. Rachel Carson, the interconnectedness of life. A soft but firm voice breaks the silence. Rachel Carson, the modern ecologist, stands to address the group. Heidegger speaks of the danger of enframing, and I must agree, she says. But let us not forget the tangible consequences of our actions. These turbines may seem like a solution to our energy needs, but what of the birds that collide with their blades? What are the ecosystems disrupted by their construction? She gestures toward the meadow around them. Every living thing is connected in a delicate web of life. When we disrupt one part of that web, we risk unraveling the whole. We must consider not only the immediate benefits of these machines, but also their long-term impact on the natural world. Thoreau, simplicity and self-reliance. Henry David Thoreau, his face weathered but serene, rises to speak. Rachel Carson speaks wisely of interconnectedness, he says. But I would add that our reliance on such machines reflects a deeper problem, a loss of self-reliance and simplicity. In my time at Walden Pond, I learned that true freedom comes from living simply in harmony with nature. He looks toward the turbines, his expression wistful. These machines may provide energy, but they also distance us from the natural world. They encourage us to consume more, to rely on technology rather than our own ingenuity and resourcefulness. Is this truly progress, or is it a step away from the life of meaning and purpose? Alexander the Great. The need for visionary leadership. Just as the Symposium seems to be winding down, a commanding figure strides into the circle. It is Alexander the Great, his armor gleaming in the fading light. The philosophers fall silent, their attention drawn to the conqueror who once united the known world. Enough of this endless debate, Alexander declares, his voice ringing with authority. You speak of wisdom, harmony, and the good life, but what humanity needs now is not more words, it is action. This is why, in certain times in history, democracy is not enough. As your master Plato once said in his Republic, the world must be ruled by aristocrats, those who have virtue, vision, and the power to act. He gestures toward the turbines, his expression fierce. These machines are not the problem. The problem is the lack of leadership to guide their use. Humanity needs rulers who can see beyond the immediate, who can balance progress with preservation, and who have the courage to tear down these monsters if they must. Only then can we move forward with technologies that produce electricity without destroying nature. The philosophers exchange glances, some nodding in agreement, others skeptical. Alexander's presence is magnetic, his words stirring a mix of admiration and unease. Conclusion, a call to action. As the sun sets, casting the turbines in a golden glow, Socrates rises to speak one final time. My friends, he says, our discussion has revealed much, yet the ultimate question remains unanswered. Are these turbines a sign of wisdom or folly? Perhaps the answer lies not in the machines themselves, but in us. Only if we cultivate virtue, wisdom, and a deep respect for the natural order can we claim to be truly wise. Alexander steps forward, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. Wisdom is not enough, he says. The world needs leaders who can act, who can unite vision with power. Let us not be content with words alone. Let us strive to create a future where progress and nature coexist in harmony. The philosophers nod, their faces illuminated by the fading light. As they disperse, their voices carry on the wind. A reminder to all who listen that the path to true progress lies not in technology alone, but in the thoughtful, ethical, and harmonious pursuit of the good, guided by leaders who embody both wisdom and action.